As we all know, in the last 24 hours or so, we have experienced the physical world loss of that person that we know as Robin Williams. He has touched so many lives across our world throughout his lifetime. The reason that we are so endearing to Robin is that he was able to experience within himself the full essence of life. He observed us all, the human race, and he felt us all, the human race. He experienced within one lifetime all of our lifetimes, and he mirrored that back to us as a way of understanding ourselves more. He put light on the most difficult subjects of our world. He brought laughter and lightheartedness and reminded us that laughter, love, and joy helps to make this life better. He was honest on his journey with us, and he showed us that addiction and sadness and depression is the flip side of that joy, that passionate joy. This is not a man who lived his life in full depression. This is a man who lived his life in power and passion, who embraced the fullness of this life in its most extreme energies and shared that with us. He used his passion and his light as a vessel to show us who we are and where we can go. So as we join together and our hearts are saddened by his loss, let us remember the duality that he taught us, that even as we experience the sadness of loss of his physical form with us on earth, we also experience the brilliance, the light, the understanding of his freedom and joy. For so long we have wanted duality to disappear. We have wanted to see either the good or the bad in each individual, the darkness or the light, to polarize them, to reduce them, and to understand them as separate entities. But Robin showed us that we are all both. We are the dark and the light. We are the sadness and the joy. And in our essence, we are pure love. It is our relationships, our connectedness to each other that makes us who we are, that helps us to embody the fullness of our life. He dedicated his life not only to his children and to his loved ones, he dedicated his life to us, far beyond when he needed to experience the thrills of acting, far beyond when he needed the financial support of his career. He continued to persevere. He persevered for his children and for his family, and he persevered for us, because he knew in the deepest part of his heart he was us and we were him. And to move forward on this journey was to bring us all light. So the end of this life in the physical form is the beginning of a new life for Robin, in which he can bring us a deeper understanding of spirit. For each one of us has an ascended form, a part of ourselves that knows all. Robin was in touch with that often. That is how he observed the human experience, and that is how he felt with such depth. And yet there were many moments, like the moment at the end of his life, in which the despair of the human experience overtook him, and he longed for the freedom of full remembrance, to embody the fullness of his ascended being in form, without any illusion. And so now he comes to us in that form, fully ascended, embodying the full essence of who he is and always have been, free from the illusion of the pain and the despair that we as humans seem so much to endure. So I open myself now to be used as a vessel for his words. Some of you may believe in this process and others may be unfamiliar with it. But I do this upon his request, from the soul that comes to me that I recognize as Robin Williams, in his most beautiful ascended form. The soul that I saw when I looked into his eyes in a movie or on the screen of the television, when I heard his voice bringing out the obvious to us in humor. Accept what feels correct to you, for you are the only one on this journey of your life who can decide what is your truth. Surrendering now, I expand my attention into the vibration that I know as the ascended form of Robin Williams, and I ask that he speak with us today as he wishes. I'm here. I made it. Not as bad as you would think. I'm still getting used to this new way of being. It's going to take a little while for me to get my humor to catch up with my soul. I was not just the humor. That was one tool that I used, but you saw me. You saw me in all of the tools. And yes, that being that you know is Robin Williams, that essence of myself that came down into human form. I put my whole self into that. I cried tears deeper than those who can imagine, and I laughed harder. I loved big, and I still love big. Why did I choose to go out this way? To me, it was a natural progression of the disease, the dis-ease that I battled with all of my life, of the human condition. Yeah, I could have left with cancer, but that's just so mundane. Everybody does that. Cancer. I guess I could have had diabetes. That's a little gross for me. I didn't want to experience that pain. But did I experience pain? Yes, I did. I experienced pain and joy, and do I regret any of it? No. Is it a shock to the world that I left like this? What I'm hearing is it's not too much of a shock. And most seem happy that I'm free. This is an interesting conundrum, isn't it? Maybe it was my finale, to place a mirror up to a spot that people hadn't looked at before. Isn't that what I did? Isn't that what I do? First of all, I would like to say to all those I loved personally, who will miss me in the physical, know that it was me, not you. Know and think of this as a death that was just the end of a long disease. In fact, I was in no more despair now than I had been in deeper parts of my life. So you may be saying to yourself, why now? I was tired. I was tired and I was feeling it flare up again, and I did not want to put you through it one more time. We had all gone through it too many times. We had all gone through the cycles and the pain, and every time I cycled, so did you, my family. So let us now stop those cycles. Let me love you as I always have. Let me be who I always truly was, who you saw me as. Let me be free to be that now, fully for you. I'm here with you always. And to my world family, you were not just viewers or fans to me. I felt you. I feel you. I am honored by all that you have to say about me. I am honored by those who are laughing and bringing up the humor, and by those who are crying and stepping forward to share your own pain and to reach out to those who are in pain. Suicide has been a confusing thing for a long time. But we haven't looked at one thing. Religions across the way have said that suicide is a sin, bad, the people go to hell, or in between, or they're stuck, their souls in nothingness forever. Well, look at me. I'm not nothingness. I'm here. And I'm happy, and I'm free, and I'm with all of you. And so are the loved ones that you have experienced who crossed in suicide. It's an interesting thing, the way the world perceives suicide. The ego wants to keep people here. So if we say it's okay to commit suicide, then we're afraid that others will do it and follow. But what does that say about a society? Isn't that the most important thing that we're not looking at? Why is it a society that would be afraid that if it was okay to commit suicide, everyone would do it? Why not change the society? Why not change the way the world is so that people don't want to leave? So that heaven isn't any more beautiful than earth? That God isn't separate? That you don't have to die to be free? Why not change the world? That's what I plan to do. I plan to look at and to be with you and to keep the humor going. And maybe I'll even lighten up the beings up here, make them laugh a little harder, make them see the humor. Lighten up so that we can all have more fun, because that's what it's about. Let's make a world where people don't want to die, where people don't want to commit suicide, instead of making a world where that is a sin. Because you know what that does? Maybe it scares a couple people into staying, but do they live? And even if it scares a couple people into staying, what about those who don't? And the families that are left behind? What about the added pain that we as a society put on them when we say that their loved ones are in hell or floating in nothingness forever and we will never reunite? How does that make the loved ones feel? It's time we stopped that silly story. It's time we stopped the nonsense. It's time that we realize that this that I just mirrored to you, that this is a societal problem. It's not a person's problem. We need to change the world around us so it doesn't happen, so it's not necessary, so people come and go as they wish, but they wish to stay on earth. They wish to stay in the beauty of the physical form because it's fun and it's nice and it's brilliant, and those extreme emotions are a rush, and they want it. I know my voice is different than you imagine me. And I went back and forth saying, will it be me? Will I say that it's me? It's my higher self. It's something more than the one you knew. But it was in me all the time. And it's in you. That's why I choose to say it this way. Because it's in you too. Because maybe we all have this. And maybe there is a time when joking isn't the most important thing. But maybe there's a time when just being honest is the most important. So let's get this party started, because I am not done. I got a world to rock, and I'm about to rock it. I give thanks for the essence of spirit, for the reflections that were brought here, and I ask that they be received in the highest form. The people's heart open to receive them for whatever understanding they have. And I ask that the being that we knew and continue to know is Robin Williams be honored by this. And I give thanks.